Stop. One breath. Before you send another "no worries, take your time" message, answer this. Do you still believe patience is always a virtue? Do you still think saying "whenever you're free" sounds polite instead of powerless? Here's the dangerous truth you were trained not to see. Time doesn't just pass, it positions. And the person who controls the clock controls the room. If you don't set the timing, you will live inside someone else's schedule, someone else's plan, someone else's price, someone else's power. Delay doesn't erase conflict, it outsources the advantage. And he was even colder about action windows. It is better to be adventurous than cautious because fortune is a woman. Not because recklessness is noble, but because hesitation misses the only moment that matters, the one that still moves. This series isn't about being rude, it's about being consequential. From today, you will use two levers in every arena you enter: delay to gather leverage, and deadline to force decisions. Comment to lock it in. I set clocks, I don't chase time. Here's the frame you were never taught. Time has three levels in every interaction: tempo, how fast the room is moving; window, the slice when action is possible; and threshold, the point when inaction becomes a cost. You'll learn to slow tempo to read the board, to narrow the window so others must reveal truth, and to announce thresholds so people feel the price of drifting. You won't raise your voice, you'll raise the cost of delay. Start with the smallest battlefield, your replies. New you answers on rhythm, not reflex. If the request is vague, use slow tempo with a two-step container. Send 3 bullets: goal, timeline, ask. You didn't delay because you're lazy, you delayed to force clarity. Time is now a filter. Sloppy requests evaporate. Serious ones return sharpened. Your politeness used to protect their vagueness. Your timing now punishes vagueness. Negotiations. The worst deals you've ever accepted all had the same signature: their timeline, their urgency, their countdown. You were the one sprinting, they were the one evaluating. Flip it. You announce your window before terms. I'm reviewing proposals till Friday 5 p.m. The deadline is not a trap, it's a threshold. It forces reality to show up on the calendar. People can live with no, they can't live with never-ending maybe. You just made indecision expensive. Projects. They won't. You installed decision appointments that carry a default. Decision review, Wednesday 10 a.m. That one sentence changes the entire culture. Without it, silence freezes the room. With it, silence greenlights the plan. You just weaponized the absence of response. The clock moved the work for you. Relationships. Waiting forever to be understood is how you trained people to treat you like a background tab. Use delays and deadlines like a respectful adult. I'm free Thursday or Sunday, 7 to 9. 2 windows, then you stop knocking. If they want you, they'll choose a window. If they don't, they'll ask you to orbit. You don't orbit. Your schedule is not a waiting room, it's a threshold. Not cold, clear. Now the paradox. There are moments when delay is your weapon and moments when a deadline is. How do you choose? Use the leverage meter. If information is incomplete and the other side is oversharing, delay. The longer you wait, the more they reveal. If information is complete and the other side is drifting, deadline. The shorter you make the window, the more they decide. If your option set is improving with time, more bidders, more data, delay. Let the market ripen. If your option set is decaying, attention cooling, urgency fading, deadline. Move before momentum dies. That's all you need to stop being dragged by calendars you didn't choose. But we're not done. Timing also changes price. Scarcity and speed are a pair. You're not playing hard to get, you're pricing certainty. What about ethics? Your delay isn't deceit. Your deadline isn't a bluff. You never fake pressure. You never extend the deadline 3 times to squeeze. You're not a carnival. You're a clock. The rule is simple. If you announce a time, you keep it, especially when it hurts. If you say Friday, Friday ends the offer. Will it sting once? Yes. Will people trust your clock forever after? Also yes. Machiavelli's point about time wasn't rush, it was rule. If you let time rule you, you become the terrain other people march across. Time used to kidnap your hour. Now you, slow tempo, set a window. Reviewing at 2. You delayed to collect leverage. If they miss, your 2 p.m. moves anyway. You don't carry their tomorrow in your pocket. You delay your answer by 1 beat, then offer a deadline-bound trade. If PO is signed by the 28th, I can remove the onboarding fee. You didn't beg, you didn't rush, you tied generosity to time-bound behavior. In hiring, candidates drift because your process drifts. Fix it. 2 steps. Diagnostic this week, panel Monday. The strong will calibrate to you. The weak will ask for endless reschedules. That's not rudeness, that's revealing. Time exposes seriousness. In debt and favors, the longer you take to repay a favor, the heavier it becomes. Pay decisively or decline quickly. Your "I'll get to it" breeds resentment. Your "I can't do it this cycle, but I can do X by Thursday" creates trust. Delay with communication is patience. Delay without communication is disrespect. Your worst enemy in all of this is the sugar-coated procrastination that calls itself kindness. Why? For what new data? For which new bidder? If the weak creates leverage, take it. If the weak hides a fear of deciding, cut it. There is a difference between strategic delay and cowardly drift. You'll feel it in your chest. Drift feels sticky. Strategic delay feels surgical. Install it in your replies. Watch how silence starts helping you. Day 3. Replace every "whenever" works with 2 clear windows. If neither fits, you exit or you move it next week. Your time is now a gate. Day 4. Announce a one-time offer with an honest deadline. Hit the deadline even if you lose the deal. You're buying a reputation, not chasing a sale. Day 5. Run a 24-hour cooling delay before sending any emotional reply. You're not ghosting, you're preventing a mess. Day 6. Do a consequence audit. List where delay helped you, more info, better terms, and where it hurt you, lost momentum, lost respect. Adjust. Day 7. Choose one arena, clients, dating, family, where you'll be the clock for a week. Announce windows and thresholds up front. People can handle rules, they can't handle guessing. You will get pushback. Translation: your timing used to protect their habits. Smile once. Then keep the clock. Consistency is how rooms learn your rules. When your Friday really means Friday, your Wednesday starts moving by itself. 2 pitfalls to avoid so you don't turn timing into cruelty. First, don't weaponize silence to drive anxiety for sport. A brief, clear "no later than Friday" is calm. Unread messages for weeks are contempt. Second, don't use delay to dodge accountability. Your clock has moral weight only if it also rings on you. I'll end with the 2 lines you should feel in your bones every time you hesitate. Binary choice. You can keep giving away hours and calling it patience, or you can turn time into a lever that pays you back. If this opened your eyes, like and subscribe once right now. Ring the bell and comment. I set clocks, I don't chase time. Part 2 is where we make delay surgical, deadline ethical, and silence expensive. For people who try to use you as their calendar. Stop. One breath. Before you say "let's circle back" or "no rush," ask yourself this. Do you still believe respect comes from being endlessly available? Do you still think flexible equals fair? Here's the dangerous truth you were trained not to see. Flexibility without framing is free time. and free time gets spent by whoever's most shameless. If you don't set the tempo, you become the terrain. If you don't draw the window, you become the weather. From this moment, you're not asking people to hurry, you're making delay expensive and deadline inevitable. Comment to lock it in. I turn hours into leverage, not apologies. You already felt the shift in part 1. Delay to gather leverage, deadline to force decision. Now we sharpen both. Think of every interaction as a board with 3 hidden clocks. Their urgency, your window, and the market's decay rate. Your job is to sync those clocks, so indecision hurts them, not you. You don't raise your voice, you raise the cost of drift. Start small. Inbox warfare. Old you says sure and then drowns. New you slows tempo and frames a window. Send 3 bullets: goal, timeline, decision. That one sentence flips the physics. Delay is now a filter. People who were leaning on your kindness are forced to do their own thinking. And when they do send the bullets, you don't answer at 4:01 like a Labrador. You answer at 4, sharp, short, decisive. Rhythm builds reputation. Reputation sets price. Negotiations. That's not urgency, that's choreography. You create your own clock. Happy to quote, 2 slots, today 5 p.m. or tomorrow 11 a.m. You became easy to buy for people who can decide. Everyone else gets the tax of waiting. You cut pain in a single stroke, a clear no, a firm cutoff. You deliver value in disciplined increments, a brief, a draft, a pilot. That timing isn't cruelty, it's control. Fast, clean no prevents months of suffering. Slow, steady yes makes value last. Team culture. Meetings expand to fill the soul, unless time has edges. You install decision appointments with defaults. We land 2 choices in 20 minutes. Now, silence isn't mud. Silence is permission. Notice what happens. The room stops debating old ghosts and starts choosing. Clients. Missed deadlines used to become your problem, not anymore. You bind generosity to behavior. If materials arrive by Thursday 10, we include the fast turn creative. You didn't punish, you priced. When clients ask for exceptions, you don't perform a TED Talk on fairness. You give a tiny window with a real threshold. We can stretch to Friday 10. You respect them by treating their choice like a choice. Dating and friends. This isn't a sales funnel, it's human. But human beings respect containers. New you offers 2 precise windows and then exits gracefully. Thursday 7-9 or Sunday 6-8. People who want you will enter the window. You don't live in maybe. You're not angry, you're busy. The seriousness of a person is measured by how they treat your time. Here's where most people lose the frame. They confuse strategic delay with avoidance. Strategic delay has an objective: more bidders, more data, more leverage, and a clock. Avoidance has a feeling: I don't want to decide, and no end. Your nervous system can tell the difference. Strategic delay feels surgical. Avoidance feels sticky. Then keep it. You're building trust with yourself. A 3-part protocol you can run this week. The sieve delay. When an ask arrives fuzzy, you don't chase it. You delay by asking for structure, goal, timeline, decision owner. If those 3 don't return, the ask dies without you lifting a finger. Your delay became a sieve. The clock offer. No drama if they miss, just a reset. The clean cut. When you must say no, you do it once. You cut briefly, not aligned. The hurt happens now. The healing starts now. Let's talk receipts, places where time multiplies money or respect instantly. Procurement tango. You slow 1 beat, then trade on time. Deadlines teach seriousness. Scope creep. You don't argue features, you argue clocks. Now scope is a calendar, not a debate. Hiring. Calendars kill candidates. High agency people calibrate. The rest evaporate. Debt and favors. Pay quickly or decline quickly. Long delays corrode trust and compound interest in resentment. Now your delay is clean. What about being humane? Real kindness is clarity. If you know you won't do it, say it now. If you'll do it later, name the date. Drip-fed maybe is how reputations rot. You don't control traffic, illness, or geopolitical weather. You do control your promises and your clocks. Use your half like a ruler. Translation: your open-ended hours used to subsidize someone else's chaos. Translation: you stopped paying the indecision tax. Answer: we are inside containers. Flexibility inside edges is service. Flexibility without edges is surrender. Don't. Doorways are where power dies of small talk. End on decision, ledger, leave. Decision A by Friday, I'll send the one-pager by 3, you confirm names by 10. You didn't escalate, you sealed. 7-day wiring plan, light lifts, heavy impact. Day 1, replace every whenever works with 2 options. If neither fits, you propose next week once, then silence. Watch how questions sharpen. Install it in your replies. Day 4, attach a real expiry to one offer. Hold it even if you lose the deal. You're buying credibility. Day 5, run a 24-hour cooling delay on one emotional thread. Draft now, send tomorrow. You'll thank yourself. Day 6, do a consequence audit. List where delay helped, more info, better terms, and where it hurt, lost momentum. Adjust your bias. Day 7, choose one arena, clients, team, or personal, where you will be the clock for a week. Announce windows and thresholds. Keep them. Ethics, so your clock doesn't turn cruel. Never fake urgency. Never dangle expiring offers you plan to extend. Never punish honest constraints. Bind your deadlines to reality, not theater. If someone misses because of a real hit, family, health, you can extend once, explicitly and transparently, without breaking your system. The difference between discipline and domination is simple. Discipline improves outcomes for everyone. Domination feeds your ego and poisons the room. Choose discipline. A final test for your gut. Are you delaying to learn or delaying to hide? Are you setting a deadline because the moment is alive or because you're afraid they'll say no? If the answer is fear, admit it and act anyway. Action clears fear faster than thought. Delay only when delay creates leverage, never when delay pretends to be kindness. I'll leave you with the 2 lines you'll carry into every decision window this week. Don't drag the pain, drag the profit. Use your half, set your clock, let the rest be weather. Then move. Comment to seal this part. I raise the cost of drift. Part 3 is where we turn silence into a metronome, stack countdowns without sounding desperate, and teach rooms to beg for your window instead of wasting your week. Stop. One breath. Before you make your next move, answer this. Do you still treat time like scenery or like a blade? Do you still let other people's urgency yank you by the collar? Do you still confuse being fast with being in control? If yes to any of those, here's the dangerous truth you were trained not to see. Time is not a schedule, it's a weapon. Those who hold the clock hold the room. Those who don't become props in someone else's countdown. 500 years ago, Machiavelli warned that power belongs to the man who moves with the times, not against them. When your tempo fits the terrain, you look inevitable. When your tempo argues with reality, you look lost. Today, we're going to turn time from your enemy into your edge, using delay to exhaust resistance and deadlines to force decisions. This isn't motivation, it's control. Here's the frame. You will stop reacting to every ping like a servant. You will stop bleeding leverage through instant replies, instant discounts, instant forgiveness. You will learn to delay like a fox and decide like a lion. Because, as Machiavelli also wrote, a prince ought to have no other aim or thought, nor select anything else for his study, than war and its rules and discipline. Translation: in peace, you train for pressure. You rehearse your pauses now, so under fire, your timing is already a habit. Rule 1. Silence is not absence, it's atmosphere. In weak hands, silence is a void. In strong hands, silence is gravity. Most people hate timing gaps. They rush to fill them with apologies, discounts, explanations. Don't. A fake deadline. Pause. Count to 5 in your head. Let their words hang. People fear what might be revealed by a quiet man, so they reveal it for you. They'll repeat themselves, sweeten their ask, or expose the real constraint. Your pause turns their urgency into confession. Rule 2. Build a delay ritual. The fastest way to train your timing is to ritualize the first beat after contact. Example: every inbound demand triggers the same sequence. Received, then a long breath, then a scheduled window. Got your message? M. You didn't reject, you didn't accept, you didn't explain. You created a container. This is delay without distance. Close enough to be responsive, slow enough to be sovereign. The servant responds to the emotion in the message. The sovereign responds to the clock he chose before the message. Rule 3. Never negotiate live. Delay the number, the terms, the yes-no into writing after the room cools. Real-time pressure is designed to make you trade precision for peace. Notice the word commit. It implies finality. Your delay suggests a process. Your process suggests wait. Wait suggests value. Early hour and late night responses carry emotion. Mid-window replies carry authority. M. That's when you deliver outcomes, not conversation. 2 benefits: you bunch decisions for pattern clarity, and you starve energy vampires of random micro-access. If it's not inside the window, it waits. Rooms start calibrating around your clock. Rule 5. Pair delay with a deadline. Always. Delay creates hunger. Deadlines convert it. You just set 2 frames, your pace and their finish line. Scarcity without a timestamp is theater. Scarcity with a timestamp is law. Watch how posturing evaporates when time becomes a cost. Rule 6. Stagger consequences, not kindness. This is the consequence ladder applied to time. First pause, no reaction. Then policy. Decisions are made at review blocks. Then price. Expedited review adds a fee. Then partition. We'll limit scope to X until Y is cleared. Then parting. If the timeline control doesn't work for you, we're not a fit. You didn't explode, you escalated. Quietly. Predictably. And because the steps are pre-declared, even your no feels professional rather than personal. Rule 7. Create tempo traps for the disrespectful. The person who interrupts, demands ASAP, or plays deadline chicken is betting you'll match their speed and surrender precision. Don't race, reframe. I don't do urgent, I do accurate. You just turned their weapon into a felter. Predators hunt weakness. When you refuse speed as power, they move on to easier prey. There are actions that cost you nothing and protect your presence. Do them now. Acknowledge receipt, schedule a review. There are decisions that define your value. Do them near your power window. When everything isn't now, your yes becomes heavier. People stop expecting instant approval because they've learned your rhythm. Acknowledge fast, decide slow, execute exact. Rule 9. Stockpile options during peace. Timing beats talent when you have alternatives. While things are calm, build a bench of vendors, clients, collaborators. When a bad actor tries to punish you with time, answer by noon or we walk, you can calmly let them walk because you already have replacements. That is the hidden spine behind all delay strategy. Only the man with options can pause without panic. Rule 10. Declare your clocks. The most powerful boundaries are the ones people can see. Put your decision windows in proposals, your turnaround standards in your onboarding, your review cadence in every project kickoff. Machiavellian lesson: appearances move the many. When your timing rules are public, people comply before they even test them because violating a visible rule creates reputational risk for them. Let's get practical. Need revised scope by morning. Old you fires replies from bed, negotiating with exhaustion. Received, AM today. Will confirm feasibility and price then. You did 3 things: denied midnight access, moved the debate into your window, and attached both a decision time and an expiry. Their by morning died on your clock. Another. Your team wants instant approval to chase a shiny, unvetted opportunity. Old you says yes to be liked. 5, 4, 3, no drift. If the triangle can't be met, the opportunity is noise. The room learns ideas need timing, not enthusiasm. What about personal life? Someone texts provocations to drag you into an all-night fight. Delay is your shield. Deadline is your boundary. I'm not discussing this over text. 40 minutes in person. It's not cold, it's adult. Your future self will thank you. Crowd: people mistake availability for reliability. Reliable doesn't mean instant, it means exact. AM to every call looks caring until the surgery is sloppy. The sovereign doesn't prove value through speed. He proves it through standards he never breaks. Remember the battlefield rule from Machiavelli's world. Some wars are won by the army that refused to be rushed into bad ground. Fabius Maximus saved Rome not by charging faster, but stretching time until Hannibal's advantage rotted. That's the pattern. Delay when delay weakens the opposition. Set deadlines when deadlines harden consent. It's fox and lion. Be patient enough to let errors ripen, and decisive enough to harvest without mercy. One last drill. Use it for the next 7 days. The 5-45-5 protocol. First 5 seconds. Pause, breathe, and name the tactic. Silent leverage. Next 45 minutes. Decide whether the issue is emotional bait or strategic business. If it's bait, schedule it away. If it's business, move it to your next power window. Final 5 seconds. Send a time-stamped reply. I'll review at time. You'll have a decision by time. Short, sovereign, specific. Do this 10 times and watch how rooms begin waiting for your decisions instead of demanding your attention. You'll notice something else. Your respect rises with your restraint. When you're not available by default, people pre-think. They come sharper, cleaner, clearer, because they know the clock costs. That is the quiet miracle of Machiavellian timing. By protecting your minutes, you improve theirs. Stop, one breath. Before you take the next step, answer this with your whole spine. Do you still treat time like weather, something that happens to you? Do you still surrender your power to later, hoping the right moment will politely knock? Here's the dangerous truth most men never face. Time is not neutral, it's a weapon. If you don't aim it, someone else will aim it at you. Your calendar is either your shield or their knife. From this point on, you don't live inside the clock lives inside you. Quick reset of the game you're really playing. Delay is not laziness, it's leverage. Deadlines aren't stress, they're structure. The art is knowing exactly when to stall, to starve the other side, and exactly when to strike, to compress their oxygen. That's why Machiavelli warned rulers to fix problems when they're still whispers. So you have 2 missions now: learn to see far and learn to move fast. Here's how the final system works, the part where you stop being dragged by minutes and start weaponizing them. First, you install the two-window rule on every decision that matters. Window A is the delay window. You stretch time to gather asymmetry, more information, more allies, more options. Window B is the deadline window. You collapse time to force clarity. Fewer choices, fewer voices, fewer exits. If you have no asymmetry, you stall until you do. If you have asymmetry, you impose a clean deadline and move. You won't. Second, you stop letting other people's urgency kidnap your day. Their quick call is a heist. Their ASAP is a lever. Reframe. Urgency is a currency. You only accept it at your price. When a client or colleague tries to light a fire under you, you answer with a calm timestamp and a structured checkpoint. I'll review at 4 p.m. today. You did two things there. You took the match out of their hand, and you priced their rush. Third, you design public clocks that bend rooms before you speak. A public clock is any visible time boundary you create that others must orbit. Office hours, response windows, offer expiries, meeting lengths, launch dates. Make them consistent, boring, ruthless. Predictability is gravity. When your time has architecture, your presence has weight. People feel your edges before they meet your eyes. That's aura. Fourth, you punish drift with structure, not speeches. Drift is what rots teams, relationships, companies. Slow, friendly, fatal. Never reward it with more time. When a promise slides once, you tighten scope. Slides twice, you shorten leash. Slides a third time, you remove the task or the person. This is not cruelty. This is quality control. Translation: drift that isn't corrected becomes culture, and culture replaces talent. Fifth, run the fox and lion clock together. The fox watches the calendar, seasonality, cycles, windows in the opponent's defenses. The lion enforces the deadline. No extensions, no explanations, no public doubts. Alone, the fox waits forever. Alone, the lion charges into traps. Together, the fox times the strike, the lion makes it final. You want field-proof tactics? Take these final plays and tattoo them on your week. Play 1. The freeze frame. When someone lobs a last-minute urgent request, don't react. You freeze the frame and write the time math on the table. To hit 9 a.m., X drops and Y degrades. This turns their adrenaline into your decision authority. You're not the fire brigade, you're the architect. Play 2. The 70-24 cut. If a choice will be obvious a month from now, it's obvious enough at 70% clarity. You cut in 24 hours. You'll be wrong sometimes. That's fine. Speed isn't recklessness, it's respect for compounding. Decision velocity compounds mastery faster than perfect deliberation. Play 3. The corridor. For negotiations, create a corridor of time. 3 dates with increasing price or decreasing scope. You are literally turning time into money. If they stall, the corridor narrows. That's not pressure, that's physics. Play 4. The Sabbath. 1 full day where time has 0 claims on you. No replies, no favors, no meetings. Your mind needs empty space for pattern recognition. Urgency is a fog machine. As Machiavelli put it, fortune is like a raging river when in flood, but you can build embankments in fair weather. Your Sabbath is the embankment where you strengthen the banks. Play 5. The aftershock. When you announce a deadline, do not deliver everything at once. Deliver the core on time, then 2 aftershocks, small, timed releases that land on your schedule, not theirs. Why? Because control of the follow-up is control of the narrative. The deadline wins the day, the aftershocks win the week. Play 6. The unseen clock. In relationships, your yes has a timer. If you're not, you decline. This protects your bandwidth, but more importantly, it protects your reputation. When people can predict your timing, they stop testing your boundaries. Play 7, the war chest. Time and cash are siblings. Stack buffer in both. You maintain a 7-day open zone in your calendar every month. No bookings. You maintain a 6-month cash runway. Why? Because time leverage without financial leverage collapses under the first shock, and financial leverage without time leverage turns you into a rich servant. Now the psychology that electrifies all of this. Rooms calibrate to the person who looks least rushed. Rush is a scent. It tells people you're carrying someone else's clock. Calm, on the other hand, signals two things: preparation and choice. That's why slow posture, deliberate hands, and patient silences shift power without a single word. Slowness is not delay, it's dominance. But to wield time like an edge, you must kill two habits: the apology filler and the perfection stall. Burn them. Perfection is how fear wears a lab coat. You've got a 24-hour cut now. Use it. What about ethics? You'll hear cowards say deadlines are manipulation. No, deceit is manipulation. Deadlines are clarity. They protect attention from rot. They protect scope from bloat. They protect respect from erosion. You're not weaponizing time to trap people. You're weaponizing time to keep promises real. Big difference. And yes, you must be ruthless with your own delays. If your execution slips, you don't bargain with yourself. You narrow the plan. You don't keep the fantasy and push the date. You keep the date and shrink the fantasy. That's how trust grows, with you first. Let's cement this with 3 scenarios so you can feel the protocol move under your feet. Scenario A, the vendor stall. Old you begs, compensates, hopes. Strategic you runs the corridor. We can extend 7 days at 80% scope, or we end today at delivered components plus documentation. Watch how the tone changes when time answers for you. Scenario B, the teen drift. You don't add pep talks, you add architecture. You break the work into 48-hour stones with public check-ins. Miss 2 stones in a month and the role narrows. Miss 3 and the role moves. Quiet, clean, consistent. They will either step into your clock or step out of your orbit. Both outcomes are mercy. Scenario C, the relationship loop. Someone cycles hot and cold, texting with urgency, disappearing when you reply. That's a time heist. You set a cadence. Replies at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., no midstream pivots. You don't explain, you hold the cadence. If the pattern persists, you withdraw access. Not to punish, to protect. Your presence is scarce, your time is a vault. A final warning and a promise. Delay is a scalpel in a surgeon's hand, a noose in a coward. Know why you're delaying. If you're gathering leverage, good. If you're avoiding impact, stop. The goal is not to become cold, it's to become consequential. Sometimes that means you give people time. Sometimes you take it away. Now we close the loop. You are going to pick one arena this week: work, money, training, or relationships, and you're going to install exactly one public clock: a corridor for clients, a response window for messages, a 48-hour stone cadence for your team, a Sabbath for your mind. Then you are going to protect it like a border. No speeches, no apologies, just rhythm. Comment to lock it in. I own the clock. You don't worship weather. You build levees in clear skies, then hold your ground when the river roars. You don't wait for the headache. You drink water before the desert. From today, your time is not a hallway anyone can wander. It's a fortress with gates and hours, alarms and exits. You decide when the bridge lowers. You decide when the drawbridge rises. And once people feel that rhythm, the room will bend before you ever say a word.